everyone. So in today's video, we are going to be doing a review of Neewer's latest bi-color LED lighting panel. And the particular model for this lighting panel is the NL140. Now, the reason why it is called the 140 is because there are 144 LED bulbs situated within the lighting panel itself. Now, you're probably thinking that the previous version, the 660 or the 480, has a higher bulb count, so it should be brighter. However, the opposite is true. Neewer has integrated some new technology into this lighting that actually allows it to give off an output of 50 watts. So we are going to be discussing the various new features that Neewer has integrated into this lighting panel. We are going to talk about the build quality for the light, as the construction is a little bit different compared to the 660 as well as the 480. And then we will talk about the light quality itself. How bright is it, and how accurate does it represent the color that is being displayed? Okay, so let's start off by discussing the actual build quality for the lighting panel itself. One of the first things I noticed when removing the lighting panel from its packaging is that the entire body, everything from the barn doors to the shell, everything is made out of an ABS hard plastic. Now, I know that the term plastic tends to have a cheap connotation to it. However, in this case, there are definitely pros and cons to using a plastic body over a metal body, as what was being used on the NL660 or the NL480. So the first thing is that the plastic body is going to be lighter. So when it comes to portability, the panel is definitely going to be easier to port around, especially for this lighting panel that is designed to be used both indoor and outdoor using a V-mount battery. So if portability is something of concern to you, then this is definitely going to be a good fit for you in that sense, especially considering that this lighting panel does come with a carrying bag, as I did show earlier. The second thing as well that I noticed with this lighter panel is that when it comes to locking it into a certain angle, the lighting panel stays into place and there's no movement. So when you turn the side knobs to lock it into place, it doesn't move. So this is something that I really appreciated about the design of this lighting panel. Now, a con to using a plastic body is that the heating dissipation isn't as good as a metal body. And in order to sort of counter this, Neewer has integrating cooling vents into the side of the lighting panel, and they have also added a cooling fan that only becomes active when the lighting panel is set to 70% in power or above. Anything below this and the cooling fan isn't active. Now, this is something to be mindful of because the cooling fan does make some sound. If you're doing any type of photography, then this is not an issue. But if you're doing any type of video work, this is something to be mindful of. Now, for my tests, I was able to hear some noise enter into my microphone audio, but this is probably because the light is placed relatively close to me. However, even with that being said, I don't think that this is a very intrusive issue. So what I will do right now, because I have the light set to 69% right now, I'm going to change it to 70% just so that you can hear whether or not the fan noise will be picked up by my lavalier microphone that is placed around 2 to 3 feet away from the lighting panel. So I will stay quiet for 1 second and I will change the power from 69% to 70% to activate the cooling fan. Okay, so I'm not sure whether or not you're picking up that cooling fan. Now, for most cases, this really wouldn't be an issue for me because for the majority of my videos that I do, I edit the audio. So if there's any type of background noise, I would just edit it out. And if these are skills that you do have, then I wouldn't let this be a dissuading factor for you choosing this lighting panel. So with that being said, let's move on to the various other features that Neewer has integrated into this lighting panel. All right, so perhaps one of the most noteworthy things about this lighting panel is that it has a power output of 50 watts. And Neewer claims that this is brighter than its pre-existing models. So they are capable of attaining this lighting performance through the use of their SMT or their surface mount technology, which results in a improved color accuracy. So it has a CRI of 96 plus, which is the color rendering index. So having a high CRI is going to ensure that there's less color casting being applied to the image. So it's going to be as neutral as possible when applying this light to the subject. This lighting panel can change its Kelvin setting. So you can go all the way from 3200 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin. So very warm tungsten to bright white daylight. And it is important to note that the 50 watts worth of power is only attainable when you are using both sets of lights. So if you're using strictly the daylight LED bulbs within the lighting panel, the power is going to be roughly 50%. And if you're using the tungsten, then the power is going to be roughly 50% of that 50 watts. So in order to have the full 100% or that 50 watt of power output, you would have to dial in your Kelvin to approximately 4400. So this is just something to keep in mind. Another great feature about this lighting panel as well is that it does come with a white diffuser card. And while this does reduce the lighting output, it does have a positive trade-off because it creates a more softer light for the subject. So it creates an image that is less harsh in terms of the shadows and makes it more appealing and more soft. So this is definitely a plus and a great feature that Neewer has included within this LED lighting panel. In addition to that, there are barn doors located on the four edges of the lighting panel, and this is going to assist you in at least controlling some of the light spill. So in some cases, when you're using a light and it doesn't have any type of modifier on it, the light is going to spill into the entire room. And it's always best that you have 100% control over where the light is shining so that you can dial in that specific look that you want for a particular setting. Looking over to the back of the lighting panel, you will see that there is an LCD display, and this LCD display gives you information on the Kelvin setting. So as I mentioned before, you can go from 3200 Kelvin all the way up to 5600 Kelvin, and you can change that in increments of 100. And in addition to that, you can also change the power output. So you can go from 0 all the way up to 100%, and that is displayed as well on the LCD display. In addition to that, you will see that there is a indicator for the channel, and the reason for this is because there are 8 different channels that you can set your light panel to. So let's just say you have 6 LED lighting panels, you can assign 2 lights for each channel, or for 3 channels, and you would be able to control each of the lights within the channel by using an application that you can download on your smartphone, whether you're using an Android or an iOS device. So you probably noticed that I was dialing in or manipulating the lighting features using a remote device, and that was actually on my smartphone. So looking at the application towards the left, you can see that it controls the lighting output. So the power, so you can go all the way from 100% down to 0. You can also change the Kelvin setting as well. So 5600 Kelvin, which is daylight, you can go all the way down to 3200 Kelvin here. Another good feature is that there are presets that you can set within the application as well. So let's just say we go to preset 2. We can change that, let's say, to 50% brightness, and then change the Kelvin to daylight. And we can go from preset 2 all the way to preset 1 here. If we change that over, then you can see, let's say, set it to 100 and then set the Kelvin to 3200. And then you can alternate between the 2 presets. Okay, so if you want to have one certain look and then immediately change to a different look, you can do that simply by dialing the settings within each individual preset. So this is definitely going to be convenient for the user. Now, when it comes to mounting the LED panel, there is a very good feature that is on the lighting panel. So on the base, you can mount the LED panel onto the stand vertically, or you can mount it on a 90-degree angle. And in doing so, it's going to give you more control over the direction in which you want to direct your light to. So I know that with the previous model, some of the LED panels had issues with the barn door, so you would fold the panel in and then the barn door would be obstructed by the U bracket. In this case, you can simply mount it on a 90-degree angle, and this is going to improve the angle at which you can mount your light. Last but not least, this is a portable light, so you can use this lighting panel indoor as well as outdoor. This has the option of working with a V-mount battery, and you can do this by mounting the battery onto the base of the bracket, and then there is a D-tap wire that you would connect from the battery going into the lighting panel itself. Now, the light doesn't come with this V-mount battery. However, I will leave a link down below where you can purchase an affordable battery on Amazon. So for the next part of this video, what I would like to do is a more sort of thorough lighting test. So as you have been seeing me now, it has been through the use of two lights. So through the Neewer LED panel that we are reviewing, as well as a ring light. So I will turn off this ring light and I will sort of change the settings of the Neewer LED light so that you can see how bright it goes and what it looks like when you're changing the setting of the Kelvin from 5600 all the way down to 3200. So let's get into that portion of the video. All right, so right now, as you are seeing me, the only light that I have shining on me is coming from the Neewer NL140. And currently these are the circumstances for the lighting. So the diffuser card is off, the power is at 40%, and the light is positioned approximately 2 to 3 feet away from my face. So let me give you a quick sample as to what the lighting might look like if I turn the power up to 100% and only using 5600 Kelvin or the daylight LED bulbs. Okay, so this is what it looks like without using the diffuser card at 100%, only using the daylight LED bulbs. Now you can probably tell that on one side of my face there's a lot of harsh shadows, and as soon as I do apply the diffuser card, you'll notice that it's going to look a little bit more soft. All right, so the lighting power was dimmed down just a little bit, but the light is also more spread out. So because of the spreading of the light through the use of the diffuser card, is going to create a softer shadow on the other side of my face. So let me just take off the diffuser card once again, and then go to the tungsten setting, so all the way down to 3200 Kelvin. So once again, this is what it looks like. The ambiance is a little bit more warm because we are using the tungsten LED bulbs. And this is how it looks without using the diffuser card at 100%. So now let me just slide it in. And again, it creates more of a softer light. So I'm sure that now you can see the benefit of having a diffuser card in order to spread the light more to have a softer shadow. So let me just show you once again what this might look like at 100% power and at 4400 Kelvin. So using both the daylight and the tungsten LED bulbs, which is going to be a full 50 watt worth of power. All right, 3200 and then 4400. So as you can tell, this is pretty bright. This is using both sets of the LED bulbs at 100% power without a diffuser card, positioned 2 to 3 feet away from my face. So this is the maximum sort of performance or power output that can be derived from this LED panel. So I would find this to be pretty bright, and I think that this would be sufficient for a lot of different types of work, whether you're doing product photography, whether you might need it just for your streaming, if you're doing any type of gaming, anything like that, and you need good lighting. I think this is definitely going to be good for lighting up the setting. So pretty much this concludes the lighting test for this LED lighting panel. So normally I do reviews for sort of sound related products. However, for this video, I wanted to do something just a little bit different and really expand the type of content that I do have on my channel. So production is very wide. In order to do production, you need lighting. Lighting is so important. You need great audio. You need also a great device to record yourself with. So these are the type of things that I really want to cover more on the channel. So if this is something that you really enjoy, please hit the like button. And if you have any type of question, or maybe there's something that I didn't cover in this video that you want me to comment on more, please leave a comment down below, as I do enjoy hearing from the listener. And if you enjoy the channel as a whole, please subscribe, as it does help us to grow. So without further ado, I want to say thank you so much for watching this content, and I hope to see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.